I'm gonna measure the full width of this. The full width of the spreader, which I think is 7 foot 4 inches or whatever. You're gonna need 2 of them. 7 foot 4 inches. So square the ends. The saw is laying there on the ground. Square the one end, and then get the measurement. Okay, so this is what's gonna happen. I am going to be putting down, these are 4x6s. These are bash rails or bump rails or whatever you want to call them. I'm going to call them bash rails. Some people called them extensions. They're not really extensions. They're only 6 inches. It's not going to add that much more material to the spreader, but it is going to add a level of protection for the spreader so that it doesn't get the shit kicked out of it. We don't want the shit to get kicked out of it, okay? That's just not what we're about today. So what I've done is I have measured to the center of this. I screwed up the first one. So I've measured to the center, and from 3 inches back, that'll put me right down through the corner plate. I am going to be adding steel strapping with holes into it so that it bolts on a much wider stance there. Each one of these is marked where I want it. I did it here as well on this side. So what I'm going to do is countersink. I'm going to countersink a hole into the board or the bumper. That's my receipt. So you want to leave yourself with as much room as possible. And these bits were like $5 a piece, or you buy the whole set for $15. So these are the the Home Depot special Diablos. I don't have a problem with using these. They're probably made in Xinjiang, China. I'm pretty sure they are, because, you know, we can't make anything here in the United States. It would cost too much, you know? It would cost too much, and we're all going to find out about that. We're all going to find out about costing too much in the end. In the end. And the reason I say that is because, you know, you can have things made cheaply for a while, and then eventually the company that's making them cheaply. You didn't cut your fingers off, did you?
No, it's only got a little bit left. I blades got long.
Oh. Okay, so are these made in China? Made in China, 100%. It's just disheartening, and I shouldn't even have bought them, but I shouldn't have bought them, you know. But you go and you go try and find USA made stuff right now. About a year and a half ago, it was pretty easy to find a year and a half stuff that was made in the United States. So what I'm going to do, it's pretty simple. Oh, wait a minute. Tim's got that thing set up to do hammer drill. You don't want that. And that's what you're going to see me do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bore down through this. And I want to go down just a little bit past the red part so that I have a pretty good sunken pocket, I guess.
What do you mean do not exceed 25 miles an hour? Is that the speed limit for the tractor?
For this thing.
Well, they common sense. You're spreading.
That's not for spreading, that's travel.
Oh.
Speed. Not maximum speed.
Well, spreading.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking about, spreading, but no. To travel, you can't. Oh, well, what if this is dragging by the 30?
How fast did we go? 80? 80, 85 all the way home?
Right? That's a
I
lie.
gotta tell you, Chandler makes a damn good spread. It goes 80, 85 miles an hour. Yeah, they put that on there so in case you get the wreck, it's not their fault, it's yours, kind of thing.
But every going about 90, 95 down the road.
Wesley, would. I'm telling you. 80 inches, half of it is 40.
It's 30.
That's what I said, 39 in. Ang kulit. 39 in.
It's actually 38 and a half.
39 and a half. 39 and a half.
40 and 40 is 80, so 39 and a half.
That's what I said. Really? I said 39 and a half how many times?
2319!
Shut up.
39. So if I take 39 and a half there and I flip it around, this is my check. It's 2319.
What is half is 79?
Actually, it's not. But that's close enough. Close enough. 39 and a half.
I told you so. You know, listen. I told you.
Oh, you wouldn't mean.
Hey, chop suey.
39.5 plus 39. 39 plus 5. 39.5.
You guys are. You.
Can you imagine if we were out here drinking? The whole
39.5 plus 39.5.
79.
That's what I said, 39.5. Didn't I say that? I told you that. You know, listen to... William, will you eat your chicken nuggets?
Hey, you know, I love eating bagels, my ass.
What? William peeled one, so I don't know. What? William peeled one. I don't know, I thought he did a good job. He didn't do a good job peeling one?
Spade bit.
What do you call it?
Spade bit or a speed bit. Different names for them, but this is a, I call them spade bits, but probably speed bit. Holy shit, did you see that? That's like, that was, once you see it, right? Okay, so that's what it looks like from the outside. I'm gonna climb up top here and show you what all I'm gonna do yet. I was gonna take these heavy boards, that one and that one, and directly screw them fast to the front. And I've changed my mind on that part of it because I just don't think it's necessary, right? I really don't. I just don't think it's necessary. So, but what I am gonna do, and I'll show you what I'm gonna do on the corners, because corners can be tricky. Do I think that it's going to make any difference? It may or may not make a difference, but it'll give me the peace of mind that I'm going to have it done in a fashion that I don't have to worry about it anymore. So, if I am to run them in, say on an angle like that, two of them, like say like that, I think we'd probably be okay, right? If I run them straight in, I've got that bolt to deal with, and I could do it here like so. If I just run two of them, and it really wouldn't matter if I ran them in like that, because these are 8-inch 5/16. These are those really good fasteners that take a little bit to break off, like really a lot to break off. But maybe if I run them like that on the very corners so that I don't have to worry about hitting these holes, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And what that'll do is just tie everything together. Now, I don't think there's gonna be any flex in this spreader. These boards are, I put 5 bolts in each one. 5 on the sides, so there's 10 there, and then there's 1, 2, 3 there, and 1, 2, 3 there. And I really don't think that putting those boards up in the front of this thing are going to benefit me in any way. These are just pretty much a bash rail, if you want to call it that, a bash rail. So when you dump your load, you don't bend in the ears here. And the other thing is, I'm going to actually, people are probably going to think I'm crazy, but I've got some 3 by 2, yeah, what is that, 1.5 by 3 or 2 by 3s. I'm gonna nail those right on the top and cap these off so that the dirt and shit don't get down in there and rot them bolts, or even rot the wood. So I may even take and put some grease or oil, and I'm actually getting ready to go ahead and hook this thing up and load it up with lime for the first go round and see how it actually works. Get it set up to spread, because I do have 150 or so tons of lime to go, and then I'm gonna start hauling lime. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Gotta haul lime, get it in, get it on, get the ripper going again, and get things ripping, and you know the deal. Farm. Oh, I got a farm. Oh yeah, and the other thing was, somebody asked if this had filters. Yes sir. Yes sir, it does. Has Chandler filters. See, they say Chandler on them. They're probably just a Napa rebranded Wix filter or so. But anyways, I'm gonna shut up now. All right, so I put those lag bolts in. They're considered a lag bolt or a lag screw. They work really good. I used chain and cable oil on those, but I switched to grease on these, and it seemed to work a lot better. It just went in smoother. So there it is. So they're all in there. I measured them out nice, and I think it turned out actually really, really well. I would just call them bash boards or bash rails. So I'm pretty sure we're good. Now let's address the tires. These are not small tires, by the way. I mean, they're not super high flotation tires, but they are a flotation tire. They're 14L 16.1 SLs. That ain't bad at all. Silage wagons that haul 14 ton of material, and this is a 10-ton spreader, but silage wagons, they run those, and 60% of the weight on the tractor. How much weight is actually being carried here? You know, it's I think it's going to be fine. I'm a little bit concerned with the axles. They are a torsion bar design, so when you start to twist, they actually do move in there, and you know, which is fine. Somebody said that this thing would start to break apart. I highly doubt it. You know, as long as nothing is allowed to move around there, it'd be all right. Worst case scenario, I add another axle. Looks like there's room enough there. Wider tires I don't think is necessary, but they're 14L 16.1. So I mean, I'm not upset with those tires. I think they're great. You can get bigger tires on there but it's for the heavier axle, which updates you to a bigger hub. I don't know. I think we'll be fine with it. You know, what am I going to do? It's a brand new spreader. If I snap an axle or this doesn't work out right, I am within my warranty with those extender rails or bash rails, so I'm not really too concerned with that. I will come back at you. I'm going to add them pieces of wood to the upper part there. I'm going to go out and cut them now, but I'm going to add those pieces of wood to the inside and seal up the holes at the top. It's going to add about 2 more inches, so that'll give me 8 inches, and we'll be good. We'll be well within the rights of the spreader. So find my injector, my grease injector, to put grease in those holes up at the top. So what I did was I went back out to the sawmill, and these are 3 inches wide. So I cut them 1.5 inches by 3 inches wide, and then I just nailed them fast. I have a pass load nailer, so I nailed them fast over top of those holes that I used, that I had bored in there. So this is not 8 inches, it's 7.5 inches in total, which is the equivalent of a 2x8 that you would buy from, say, the Home Depot or whatnot. So I'm not, you know, so there it is. That's what it is. I put the divider back in because we will be doing lime, and I don't want all that pressure on the chain to push the lime out in the center there. So that's why I put it back in. Now when I go to do compost, I really, honestly, that thing is heavy. It does have a hoist gizmo in there, and you can put a chain on it and pick it up with the loader, is what you're supposed to do. Me and Tim manhandled it in here. But yeah, so that's what we did, and I think it finished it up really nicely. You know, I really do. I'm quite happy with the results of it, really. Looks good. And if you do get down onto it and tear that upper board off, so I pulled the sawmill out and I cut another piece, and Bob's your uncle.
Or you got this extra piece here.
Yeah, you know, the sawmill, I can cut anything with a sawmill. So I haven't even hooked it up to a tractor yet at all, but I will be hooking it up to a tractor tomorrow, and we will be giving it a shot in lime. We're gonna run lime. So for all of you that are patiently waiting for the first scratches to get in it or on it, keep waiting. I probably am going to, before I go out and do that, I'm going to get a sealer or something for that wood, because you know, it really shouldn't look that bad. And I'm gonna get some stencils, and I'm gonna stencil in, do not put fertilizer in this spreader. I don't want fertilizer on it, or no fertilizer is probably what I'll do, so that people know that I do not want fertilizer in there, because every once in a while somebody will not listen to their father, and they will do all kinds of crazy stuff. So anyways, I'm really excited about taking it out, probably half as excited as what everybody else is. We're more excited than anybody else is. Yeah, and you can see that the lime will definitely just travel down the sides, unless you get a big old clump of dirt, which no matter what you do, you put a clump of dirt in there, it's going to cause an ass ache anyway. So we'll just be careful with that. This is adjustable, by the way. There's bolt holes in there, so if I want to change the spread pattern for God knows what, I don't know what spread pattern I could change, honestly. Oh, this thing here moves in and out, so I can move this thing in farther, and that'll throw it more towards the back. Yeah, I don't know, it's gonna be cool. Gonna be a fun time. I got a lot of positive feedback on the Chandler spreaders, which is good. Go ahead and turn that heater off, Tim. We don't need that because we're gonna go home. Got a lot of good feedback on the Chandlers. Anybody that has ran one is really thrilled with the way they work. And look at that carpentry work. Not too bad for a spreader, you know, and a farmer, you know. I think it looks pretty good. And that is white oak, all white oak. This red oak here, I was gonna bolt those to the front, but I've decided that I'm not gonna do that, because it just isn't gonna, if at some point it starts spilling over the front or the back, I'll go ahead and put them on, but I'm not gonna do it. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't have to worry about things coming forward at the cab, because there's no vertical spinners or beaters in there that could cause that. So yeah, that would be the only reason we'll do that. But you know, it's not often you get a new piece of equipment. Really, in reality, most farmers generally don't get too many new pieces of equipment in their lifetime. So when they do, they get quite excited about it. And you know, I'm no different. You know, I'm really no different. I love it. I love the fact that I'm getting ready to go out and improve the soil. So next year is going to be a wonderful experience, right, Tim? I'm going to try and get Timothy to do 100 acres of corn. You know, he can spend his money and grow 100 acres of corn, you know, or 50 acres.